is what we do not recommend as your beginner lizard.
Thanks for joining. On this week's episode of What's the Best Pet to Take Home?
Oh my gosh.
Brought to you by Extreme Exotic Enterprises.
Well, I guess there's no need for an introduction. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the wild side. My name is Sabrina and I am here today with my boy Stu. And Stu is a bearded dragon that I have had for about 5 years now. So we are going to talk about bearded dragons. We are also going to talk about some other good pet lizards and some not so good beginner pet lizards.
My name is Stu. I'm just here hanging out with Team Extreme, supporting bearded dragon quality of life. Thanks for joining. Where's my cricket?
Bearded dragons are one of our most highly recommended beginner pet reptiles. These guys are definitely one of the most interactive reptiles and really easy to care for. The other cool thing with bearded dragons is that they come in all kinds of cool colors. So Stu here, he's a normal color. And then you have dragons like Miss Sunrise here, who has all these really cool blue bars and really bright yellows and oranges. And there are even some like our Ice Queen here, who is completely white and has no color whatsoever. So she is a hypo zero dragon. Just to give you an idea of how small bearded dragons are when they are born, I would not recommend that you purchase a dragon this small. This is not one that we would sell just yet. This little guy's only about a month old, and so we always recommend at least a 4-month-old dragon when you are shopping for a pet. Now we do recommend a minimum of a 40-gallon enclosure for a single adult bearded dragon. I would also highly recommend a front opening enclosure. These guys in the wild are hunted by birds that fly over top and fly down to pick them up. So anything coming overhead can kind of make them nervous and a little more apprehensive. So it's always good if you have a front opening enclosure and you can go in at eye level with the reptile. You're so cute, Stu. Now I'm going to show you one of the single most important things that you can do for your dragon. This is our UVB lighting rack. It has all kinds of UVB bulbs. So basically what the UVB does is it activates a vitamin called D3, and what that does is allows the dragon's bones to remain healthy. Without UVB lighting that is replaced regularly, they will develop metabolic bone disease, which is one of the most horrific things you can see happen in a dragon. They lose mobility in their back legs, eventually they lose mobility in the front legs, and they become completely paralyzed without it. And the tricky part with UVB is that just because it turns on and the light is working does not mean that it's putting out UVB anymore. So we do recommend replacing these bulbs every 6 months, and we also recommend using a calcium powder that has vitamin D3 in it. These two go hand in hand and work together to keep your dragon healthy. And actually, when people purchase a bearded dragon from us, we print them a label with the date on it that can go directly on this fixture, so they know 6 months from that date they need to replace this bulb. What am I known to chase people out into the parking lot for?
UVB.
Hey Sarang, what am I known to chase people out into the parking lot for?
Do you got an up-to-date UVB bulb?
Now, if you are thinking maybe the bearded dragon's just a little too big for you, I would highly recommend a leopard gecko or a fat-tailed gecko. So these guys are actually nocturnal, so usually about the time you're getting home from school, getting home from work, they're just starting to wake up, and so you guys can have dinner time around the same time, even though it's technically breakfast for them. And these are two of the African fat-tailed geckos that we have right now. So this is a little more of your normal coloration, whereas Peaches, who you saw earlier, is actually an albino. Now most people will recommend that an African fat-tailed gecko or a leopard gecko be housed in a 20-gallon tank, which is what we've got here, with a hide cave on both sides, water dish, and then any kind of decorations you want to add. And that is definitely sufficient. Now I also want to mention I do enjoy these square tanks, and they do come in a medium and a large size as well, but these are really great for geckos. and they provide a lot of land space, so definitely another option to consider when housing a leopard gecko or a fat-tailed gecko. Now, fat-tailed geckos are housed a little differently in terms of substrate. We do a substrate on the bottom that holds a little more humidity for them, but then a hide cave on each side, some decorations, water bowl, and of course a heat source. Now, another one of my favorite lizards that I have to talk about is the uromastyx. Uromastyx are kept very similar to bearded dragons. They can be very similar sized. They also require heat and UVB lighting, just like the beardies. They've got this really cool spiky tail. So definitely another one that I would consider. And we are gonna have a dedicated bearded dragon care video. We're gonna do a dedicated video to each one of these animals. So be sure you let me know down in the comments which one you wanna see first. This is what we don't recommend as a starter pet lizard. This is Girlfriend. Girlfriend is our Asian water monitor. She's about 5 years old and she is about 5 feet long. While Girlfriend is usually friendly with us, I am going to show you some pictures of what can happen when you are dealing with an angry water monitor. In terms of lizards that I would stay away from if I was just starting out, I would steer away from chameleons. Chameleons are very fragile, they're very sensitive, they can stress very easily, and so we always recommend chameleons as more of a display pet and not a hands-on pet like a bearded dragon. I'd also steer away from any kind of monitor. Most monitors get very large. There are some that stay small, but in terms of handling and interaction, they are something that I consider to be a little more advanced to work with, and for the ones that get 6 feet, they can be very dangerous and require a very large space with a large water system, so definitely something I would avoid if I was just starting out with a pet lizard. The other one that I would recommend you avoid is an iguana. So a lot of people come in and they want an iguana because they've seen this big lizard that's really friendly on a beach with somebody somewhere. Not all iguanas are friendly, and they are very difficult to house because they get so big. And if they're having a bad day, they're gonna shred you. So that would be another one that I would avoid when I'm just starting out and looking for a pet lizard. Okay guys, so there you have it. My best recommendations for your beginner pet lizard, and some that I highly do not recommend as your beginner pet lizard. If you have a bearded dragon, a leopard gecko, or any of these awesome animals, definitely tell us about it down in the comments section. I would love to learn about your pets as well. And be sure that you tune in next week because we are going on an adventure. I'm not gonna tell you where, but I will tell you they have lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. So be sure that you are subscribed, click the notification bell so you do not miss next week's video. It's gonna be a wild one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys then. Hey Sarang, how was your day?
My day was alright.
In order to ensure supreme health of your day active reptile, you need to replace your ultraviolet type B bulb every 6 months.